why I would promote the use of neurons for ITSM, whether in higher education or elsewhere, is to see it as a platform, not just as an ITSM tool. You can build on it. We have built multiple lines of business on it. It's you're not corralled. You're not beholden to the vendor or a partner every time to do something. The system is very open, very flexible, and that's the beauty of it. My name's Mark Temple. I'm Assistant Director for Service Management at the University of Glasgow, where I've worked for just about 33 years. I have responsibilities for our Ivanti product suite and for our service desks and IT training. We're primarily on neurons for ITSM, which we use in an enterprise service management capacity. So way outside of IT, across HR, campus security, finance, accommodation, complaints handling, freedom of information, data protection, and many more. Prior to bringing on Ivanti Neurons for ITSM, we had an on-premise solution. It was an installed client for our analysts, and we knew we had to move to fully web-based and cloud-hosted. So that was the main driver. The product we were using was coming end of life anyway, so we knew we had to do something. So it was finding a product that fitted the broad brief that we had. We had started on the enterprise service management journey, but so the tooling we were using was coming end of life. So that was if we wanted to take this further, broader across the university, we needed a solution that would support that. All of these different lines of business using one system, but at the same time having watertight compartments for their data, being able to share where appropriate, and being able to tailor the solution to give us the correct terminology when the correct people logged in. And someone in HR logged in, they didn't think they were logging into an IT ticketing tool, they were logging into an HR case management system. So that was probably the main thing, was something web-based, something that we had the power to expand ourselves, so we weren't beholden to a vendor every time we wanted to change something, and that's the power that it brings to us. So we've been using Ivanti Neurons for ITSM in a broad capacity. I would say probably only 10, 15, maybe 20 at the most % of what we do in it is IT. We treat it as a platform that we can build pretty much anything we want on, and that's what we've been doing, and say expanding it out to different use cases, different lines of business, and learning all the way. We've found that something that works in one area works perfectly well in another, and that's part of the message that we give to people, is focus on the common bonds between your different lines of business. You're not reinventing the wheel. You don't need a new wheel every time you bring a new line of business on. It's built on what you've learned already. We find this in other areas when we've built functionality for one team, and sometimes it can be a year down the line, someone else is asking for something, and it twigs something in your brain. You say, wait a minute, the thing we built for this functionality for someone else will work perfectly well in this other area. Our complaints handling into our data protection office, into freedom of information, into our student conduct. All of again, there are similarities in what they do, and it's when you find something that saves time in one place, you say, well, if it works for them, it's going to work for this other area. And we evaluated a lot of products, and we wanted to be self-sufficient. We wanted to be able to customize them, to tailor them to our specific needs, to our growing needs, and I can put a product that we would grow into, rather than one we were pushing the envelope from the start and waiting for the product to catch up with us. So that's been the journey so far. What the product has brought to the university is having a trusted platform that we can bring lines of business together where we need to, but also if they need to live in isolation for data security or whatever reason, we can give them that. It's solved a lot of problems in terms of bringing structure, bringing workflow, bringing tasks approval, all of these things, and dashboards to give people real-time insight into their data, something that we didn't have before. So from a process and I say structure probably is the best word for it there. Things don't get missed. People can see where something is, customer included, where something is in a process. It doesn't get lost, especially when it moves from one line of business into another. Something could move from our sport. Somebody wants to join the gym, but the money has to come off their payroll. So there's a bond between the gym membership people and finance to make sure that gets done, so it doesn't get lost in we thought we've done our bit, but we thought you'd done your bit idea. So I think that's the main thing across all of the areas, and time saving, and from our customers' point of view, one portal to get answers to request services, to report issues, and where necessary we will link off to other areas, but they only had one place to go to find it, and I think that's been huge for us. And traditionally, customer phones up or customer puts in something through self-service, the service desk look at it. No, we don't have access to that information because we don't have access to the tool set, the command line to go and get that information. We're not allowed to press that particular button, so they have to escalate it to second or third line, which takes time. Obviously, the further it goes to the right, it costs more, and the customer's waiting longer, costing them time and effort. So using Neurons for ITSM, we've been able to put an air gap between our service desk team and the underlying down at the command line, where they're not allowed to be, so they can press the button to make that happen. It's all secure, it's all, the guardrails are on. It's more fulfilling for the service desk team because they have someone on the phone, they can say, yeah, I can get that information for you, I can see why something's not working because this has been switched on or that's been switched off, idea. So the customer gets a very quick turnaround. Service desk, they're people who like to help people, and it allows them to do that rather than just creating a ticket and throwing it over the fence to someone else. So that's been a big shift there. We've been able to achieve everything that we have set out to do, and that's the reality of it. I can't think of a time that really we've ever had to say no to any of our lines of business when they've asked for something, when they've asked for functionality, when they've asked for something new, something different, and that has been proves we made the right choice.